Bam! Magical yellow paper. Alright, so I brought this yellow paper because I needed more room to do my other problems. So I'm going to look at B. 2x plus 24 equals 2 parentheses x plus 6. And just like on A, the first step is going to be to distribute. So 2x plus 24 equals 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 6 is 12. You're following basically the same steps. You can't have x's on both sides, so we're going to subtract 2x, subtract 2x, because what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Those x's are going to eliminate, so we are left with 24 equals, those x's eliminate too, so we're left with 12. Wait a minute, 24 does not equal 12, so our answer is no solution. So matching it up, B goes with no solution. All right, I'm going to come over here and do my C. Negative 2x plus 24 equals negative 2 parentheses x minus 12. So we need to distribute. This time I'm distributing a negative 2. So negative 2x plus 24 equals negative 2x. Negative 2 times a negative 12 is a positive 24. You can't have x's on both sides, so to get rid of a negative 2x, I add 2x. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So we're left with 24 equals, those eliminate as well, 24. Does 24 equal 24? Yes, it does. So this is called infinite solutions. Or, based off those answer choices, it's going to be all real numbers. So if I was to check this one on my calculator, negative 2x plus 24 in the left side, in the right side, negative 2 parentheses x minus 12. Go all the way to the original. And if you look at that table, what do you notice about all of those numbers? 18, 18, 16, 16, 14, 14, 12, 12. Every single one of them matches. So I could cheat and say I know that D has to be that last one because the lazy in me is really coming out, but I'm going to work it out for you. We go to D. 2x plus 24 equals negative 2 parentheses x minus 12. Scoot it up a little bit so you can see all that work now that I've got it copied. We distribute the negative 2. 2x plus 24. Negative 2x. Negative 2 times a negative 12 is a positive 24. You can't have x's on both sides, so to get rid of a negative 2x, I add 2x. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. 2x plus 2x is 4x plus 24. Those eliminate, so we're just left with 24. We are working on the side of the variable. To get that x by itself, I'm going to subtract 24. Subtract 24. So we're left with 4x equals 24 minus 24 is 0. Divide by 4, so x equals 0. So if I go to y equals, we have 2x plus 24 on the left side, negative 2 parentheses x minus 12 on the right side, and they should be matching at 0. Yep, at 0 we have 24, 24. So this is D. All right, this is number 2. I know it doesn't have a number next to it. Sorry about that. Given the linear function, this is an equation. Anytime it gives you an equation, you should put it in y equals. So we've got 7 parentheses x minus 2 close parentheses plus 10. So that's an equation. And they're telling me f of 2. That 2, I'm doing the x, you can't see it, but that 2 is inside the parentheses, so it's the x value. F of x is just another name for y. They're telling us y equals 24. So the x value is 2, The y value is 24. And we're going to find the missing values. So when 2 is in the x, it matches up with 10. When 24 is in the y, see it in the y column, it matches up with 4. So those are my answers. Which situation best represents a causation? Guys, that main part in causation is cause. Which one causes the other? I like to ask myself, does it have to happen? Okay, so as the size of a soda increases, the flavor has to decrease. No, because I drink giant sodas and the flavor is still delicious. As you buy more pieces of candy from the vending machine, you pay more. Unfortunately, this is true, yes. When the temperature increases, the amount of car accidents increase. No. Otherwise, in Texas, we would have 1 million car accidents. Number 4, find the first 4 terms in each sequence. A1 means the first term. So this means it's starting at 3. The only other piece of information it's giving us is plus 2. That's your common difference. You're going to add 2. So 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. Okay, over here. Now they're telling us this first term is 11. And the only other thing it's telling us is minus 4. So 11 minus 4 is 7. 7 minus 4 is 3. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. And that's your sequence. This is your D, your common difference. What is the equation in slope-intercept form that passes through these 2 points? I don't know about you, but I love me some stat. Okay, so I'm going to create a table, negative 9, negative 5, 21, and 1. And you can just go on your calculator to stat, edit. Let me clear out these points, sorry. And let's type in those points. So negative 9 and 21, negative 5 and 1. Then we do stat, right, 4. Down to calculate. And it tells me my equation is y equals 0.2, then x, minus 3.2. Well, none of those match. Oh yeah, because those are fractions. So our calculator can also do fractions. 0.2, and you click the math button, enter. So that's 1/5. So 1/5 x minus 3.2, math, enter. 16 over 5. And there's your answer. You also could have done it old school because maybe you don't have a calculator at home and you still have to do your homework. 1 minus a negative 5. Or how do you get from negative 5 to 1? You're adding 6. How do you get from negative 9 to a 21? That's adding 30. The delta y goes on top. So 6 over 30, that reduces to 1/5. So that's my slope. So you can automatically go down to A and D. And then you've got to see which one of those equation matches. Okay? So if I plug in one of these values, let's just use our positive numbers. So 1/5, the x value is 21. Let's see if I could subtract 3 to get my y value. 1/5 times 21 minus 3 gives me 1.2. Nope, I just need a 1. So that does not work. It's got to be A. All right, which of the following is an arithmetic sequence beginning with 7? That's your A1, your first term. And having a common difference, that's your D, or your slope, or your change. A change of negative 5. Okay, slope always has to go to next to what? It always goes next to the x, right? Something x. So negative 5 has got to be next to the x. Which one of those has negative 5 next to the x? Not A, not B. and it's starting with a positive 7. So your answer is D. Write the equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, this is what we talked about in class, where we've got that isolate. You are isolating your y value. Then we do opposite sides. You need to get this 2x over here. To do that, you take minus 2x, and you write it side by side. And then the final step is to divide. We're going to divide by negative 6. You have to divide each part by negative 6. So those eliminate to give us y equals 12 divided by negative 6 is a negative 2. Negative divided by a negative is a positive. And if you don't know how to reduce fractions, your calculator can do it for you. Negative 2 divided by negative 6, math, enter, is 1/3. So 1/3 x. That's slope-intercept form. But Miss Smith, we like to see our x first. So could you rewrite it? Yeah, you can. My slope is this x part, so 1/3 next to the x, and that y-intercept is the minus 2. What is the 0 of this function? Well, to be able to answer this, you've got to know what a 0 is. Anyone in the class know what a 0 is? An x.
Intercept.
Intercept! That's right, we've got people in here. You're welcome. So x-intercept, all right? So this is where we can use that cover-up method. So to find the x-intercept, we're covering up the y. So if we cover up the y, we're left with 5x equals 64. Almost done. To get that x by itself, you divide by 5. So x equals 64 divided by 5. Okay, that's an answer right there. So number 9, what is the 0 of the function? I promised each of my students that this was going to show up on a DPM, on a STAR test, all of the above. And guess what? It is. 0 just means x-intercept, which is right here, where it's crossing that x-axis, and it is at negative 6. And let's go ahead and write it as a point. That's the x value that matches up with 0. If y varies directly with x, this is like the warm-up today. This is direct variation, which is another name for proportional. So I'm going to set up a table. We've got x values and y values. When x is 7, y is 12. And when x is 42, they want to know that y value. You're going to cross multiply. 42 times 12 divided by that other number, which is 7. 72. And that's your answer. All right, what is the domain of the graph? Okay, what's the doctor's name? No, it's not. Dr. XY. So domain is X. So you could eliminate answer choices right there just by knowing that domain means X. So we've got robot and then dealer. Domain is left to right. So we're going to frame it, okay? So I'm looking for my left side. My left side is here at negative 6. And do I put the line underneath? Yes, because that circle is closed. And then the right side is here at 4. And do I put the line underneath? No, because that circle is open. And that's your answer. When you order a pizza, you can have up to 7 toppings at a cost of $1.50 a piece. Guys, a piece means each. They're telling us that that 150 is your slope. A cheese pizza costs $7. The total cost can be modeled by this situation. What is the range? Range, that's another vocab word. What's the doctor's name? XY. Range means Y. If they give you an equation, you should be plugging it in the calculator. So 1.5x plus 7. And I'm going to go to my table. What's the least amount of toppings that you can have? Can you have negative toppings? No. Okay, so the least number you can have is 0. And it's asking for those y values. So you can have 7. You can have 8.5. You can have 10. And what x value am I going to go up to? Up to 7 toppings. So I'm going to do each of these y values, 11.5, 13, 14.5, 16, and 17.5. Now, how did I know to list them out and not use these signs right up here? Because we're talking about pizza toppings, okay? Pizza toppings are discrete. You have a specific number of toppings. You're not going to call Papa John's and be like, hey, yo, Papa John's, can I get 1.3 toppings, please? No, you can't do that. I know. You can do half of a topping. You can say I want pepperoni on half of my pizza. But you can't specify and say I want 1.1 or 1.3 or any of those tiny amounts. So it has a discrete list of terms. All right, which equation represents the same relationship as the table? This is point-slope form. Y minus blank equals blank, parentheses x minus blank. This is my favorite form. And you can practice pulling the points out of this, okay? So the x value of the point is not a positive 9, it's a negative 9. The y value is a negative 22. Is that on your table? No. The x value here, not a positive 5, it's a negative 5. The y value is a positive 12. Is that on our table? I'm sorry, there's not even any 5s. That doesn't make sense. All right. The x value is a positive 9. The y value, what's next to the y, is a 22. Is that on our table? Ooh, yes, that could be it. Let's check our last one. The x value is a positive 6. The y value is a positive 12. Nope, not on our table. It's got to be that one. You could also find the slope. Maybe 2 of the points were on the table. How do I get from 22 to 26? Plus 4. How do I get from 9 to 15? Plus 6. 4 over 6 equals 2/3. And that's the correct slope. 14. A student graphed y1 equals x on the coordinate grid. If the student does it, I'm going to do it too. So y equals x. All right, so if they give you an equation, you're plugging in the calculator. So y equals x. He then graphed 1/2 x plus 3. So you know I'm putting that in there too. 1/2 x plus 3. How does the second graph compare? Well, there's the first one. There's the second one. All right, so it's shifted up. So it's not C or D. And that red line is flatter. So it's B. You could tell that just from the equation, this plus 3, if you remember I had over. Okay? This 3 is outside of the parentheses. So it's going to be a vertical change. And it's exactly what you'd think. So if it's vertical, we're talking up and down. And plus 3 is going to make it go up 3. This 1/2, that's changing the slope. It's decreasing the slope. It's smaller than 1, so it's going to make it flatter. It is called a vertical compression. All right, guys, last page. A hot air balloon is 15,000 feet above the ground. So that's where it's starting at. and it's descending. Descending means minus, right? It's dropping at a rate of 15 feet per. Anytime you see per, that's your slope. So minus 15x. Write the equation to model the situation. So we're starting at 15,000, and we're going minus 15x. There you go. The following graph models the cost of your pizza depending on your number of toppings. Dude, apparently when I wrote this review, I was just super craving pizza. What is the rate that they are being charged per topping? So again, we've got rate, we've got per. We're looking for that slope, which is rise over run. I like creating a table. So we've got one at 110, and we've got a point at 212. 212! So to get from 10 to 12, I'm adding 2. To get from 1 to 2, I'm adding 1. So it's 2 over 1, or $2 per topping. Okay, so guys, this 8 right here is representing how much it starts. It starts at $8, and then it's going up 2 over 1 each time. The following graph models the charges for Kara's Computer Parts Company. Based on the information given in the graph, how much does the company charge for a delivery fee? Guys, a delivery fee is a one-time fee. It's where they're starting, okay? No matter how many parts they're ordering, this is that fee. It is starting right here at $0.20. So they're charging $20 as a delivery fee. It's either be super fast shipping, or it better be like for a really large part. The table shows the weekly salary based on the number of hours worked. What is the rate of change? We're finding slope. Your calculator can find slope. You could put these in stat and find your slope. Or we can do delta y over delta x. To get from 770 to 792, I'm adding 22. From 35 to 36, I'm adding 1. 22 over 1 is 22. Create a representation that does not show y as a function of x, not y as a function. Guys, for functional relationships, x cannot repeat. You cannot repeat your x's. You broke up with them for a reason. Leave them behind. Ms. Smith, Relationship Advice 101. All right, so x cannot repeat. So if I'm making one that's not a function, I've got to have a repeating x. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to be fancy and do fractions. So 1/8 matches up with 7. 1/4 matches up with 3. 1/8 matches up with 1. And 1/3 matches up with 9. It doesn't matter as long as you show those repeating x's with different y values. Thanks for watching. Make sure you have this done and give it to your teacher on Friday.